Okay. All right, well, good morning. I am happy to be here with you today. Let me just, there we go. Okay. I'll pull up my phone real quick too, so I've got it here. Okay, sweet. Okay, so if you are in the Facebook group watching right now, hop over to the Zoom link. It's in the description of the chat, and would love for you to come over into the Zoom, because that is the more interactive way to participate and to win prizes and all of that good stuff. So what we're going to talk about today is low-tox living. And what I want to help you do is to learn and find some really simple tools that can be used to low-tox living, that you can use to swap out some pretty toxic chemicals and components in your home for some non-toxic ones. I've been doing a ton of research on this, so I'm really excited to get started with that. So 4 big goals for the day. The first one is that we're going to talk about what an exposure is. So I'm going to answer that question. And then we're also going to talk about how exposures impact your body. Why does it matter? Is this a thing that you even need to be paying attention to? And then we'll go into some really fun ditches and switches. This is like the really fun part of it. And then really the big or overarching goal for all of this is just to empower you to have more knowledge, to make wiser choices for yourself and your family that really have very long-standing impact. It's gonna be great. Okay, so before I dive totally into the deep end with you on this, a little bit about me. My name is Molly King. My background is in nursing. I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, and I have been in healthcare for the better part of 18 years. I've been a nurse practitioner for 11. I also happen to have a master's in public health, and that was just a really fun, really hard, but also a cool degree to have, particularly in the time of COVID. It's interesting to look at this through the lens of public health as well. So been really an interesting combination of degrees to have a master's of nursing as well as a master's of public health. One of the first things that we learned in my master's of public health program is this equation that I've put in here for you. Exposure over time equals disease. And so this is such a big key takeaway that I want for you today. And so let's dig into this a little bit. So so this equation, for example, let's take cigarette smoking, for example. So if we know there's plenty of literature and data that says that cigarette smoking over some amount of years, so time, will lead to some disease very, very often. Not necessarily always, but very, very often, whether that's lung cancer, oral cancer, emphysema, or some other form of COPD. We know this to be true. This equation holds up for that. Exposure times time leads to a disease. The cool thing about this equation that it also goes the other way. So if we have a positive exposure, so let's take exercise, for example. If I do a certain amount of exercise every day, so whether it's maybe 20 to 30 minutes of cardio per week, every week, 20 to 30 minutes a day of cardio, and I do that over a certain amount of time, I'm going to have an improvement in a health outcome. So my condition, so in this case, it would be a condition instead of a disease, but my condition improves. My emotional health is better. My body is more toned. My fat composition is down in my body. I have more endurance. So the exposure to exercise over some amount of time leads to this health benefit. And so this is really kind of the foundation of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so let's do a little self-check real quick. If you have been in Doterra for some amount of time, you have probably seen this, our health pyramid. I love this health pyramid. I think it's really, really helpful in terms of knowing where we are and figuring out what things we can and need to be shifting in order to make moves on our health. What are those exposures that we can do over some amount of time that are going to lead to a health benefit? And so when we look at the bottom three, most of those are pretty self-explanatory. So eating right, we know what that looks like in a general sense. There's, all kinds of different ways to eat, but we know what eating right is generally supposed to look like. That's not complicated. It may not be something that we do all the time, but it's not complicated. Exercise, we know what that means. We know that we're supposed to be moving our bodies. Rest and stress management. We know that rest and high quality sleep is super important, and that cortisol is a big driver in chronic stress, and managing that is a super important thing. I think so. Those bottom three we get. We just kind of intuitively know what that is. Reducing toxic load sometimes is a little bit confusing. And so when we talk about what is a toxic load is really anything external that is chemical based that your body doesn't necessarily know what to do with. That's a toxin. And it's harmful to our cells, it's harmful to our bodies. So toxic load is the amount of those things that we put in our skin, on our body, in our homes, that we're asking our body to do a whole lot to manage that it really is able to do, but it's a stress on our bodies to do that. So that's why we should reduce it, because adding extra stress to our body is not a good idea. Stress being an exposure over time, whether it's days, weeks, months, or years, leads to a condition, right? It can, depending on the toxin, the disease state or the implication of that can be a variety of things that we don't really want to welcome into our lives. So what I want to do is for Julie, if you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, let me know how do you score yourself? How do you think you're doing on reducing toxic load? 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, had never even considered it, 10 being knocking it out of the park. We're all good here. Julie?
I would say probably at like a 7.
A 7? Awesome. Cool. And what are the things that you do to oh, hello, to get there?
We definitely exercise, pretty conscious about what we eat.
Specifically toxic load. I'm asking about 1 to 10 on toxic load. But I'm glad you're eating right and moving your body. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to move more and more towards cleaner cleaning products.
Awesome. That's a huge part of it. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, cool. All right. So let's move into some of the fun stuff, some common toxic exposures. So across the top, I've got a few things like aluminum. Aluminum is very commonly found in antiperspirants. That is often the chemical the chemical in antiperspirants that makes it an antiperspirant. And so Hey, Lori, I see you on the Facebook. That's so great. Hop into the Zoom room. Welcome to the Facebook, though. Um, the aluminum is it's linked to breast cancer and a couple of other really terrible things. It's an endocrine disruptor, and so that's not cool. Volatile organic compounds. This is a variety of things. Things like air fresheners, paints, glues, floor waxes, dry cleaned clothing actually release that smell when you take the plastic off. That's a volatile organic compound. It's a really not a great thing that we for our bodies. Triclosan is was commonly found in body washes, hand soaps. It's less common today. It's actually after years and years and years of the European Union saying this is a dangerous chemical, we're not going to allow it in European countries. The FDA has finally said, like, oh yeah, we probably don't need this. Let's not. We don't add this to soaps anymore. It was sort of sold as a better antibacterial agent, but it actually had the same effectiveness of regular soap and water, and it has some really unfortunate consequences. So that's one thing. It's also found in toothpaste as well. So not cool. And then the third one is talc. Talc is, there's been several class action lawsuits against companies that have talc-based products because it's been linked to various reproductive cansers. So some of the health implications that we see with some of these things, and not everything gives you this, is linked to the same implication, but this is generally how we sort of see them. Respiratory diseases and exacerbations, so things like asthma, COPD, that kind of thing is we tend to see that a lot. The second thing is immune modulating diseases. Now, when I say immune modulating diseases, I want you to think cancer, because that's really what that's saying. Like, we're changing the way that these things are working. It's changing your DNA, making your cells more vulnerable to mutations, and possibly switching on some epigenetic pathways that are linked to cancers. Not good. And then the fourth big way is endocrine disruptions. So this is our hormone dysregulation. And so when we think about hormone disruptions, this is not just estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, although those are absolutely linked to that. We have a lot of different hormones. We often think about, we tend to think about our reproductive hormones first and foremost, but things like our thyroid functions, that's all hormones, our adrenal hormones, as well as hormones like epinephrine, norepinephrine, those chemicals in our brain, serotonin, those are all hormone mediated things. And so if your serotonin levels are off, that is highly associated with depression, anxiety, and a lot of other things. So when do exposures start? I get this question a lot. So, like, do exposures start, the first time I open up a bottle of bleach to clean my home and my lungs tighten and start to feel like they're burning, because in fact they are? Is that when I first get a toxic exposure? Unfortunately, no, that's not. There have been several studies that have actually looked at cord blood from, after the baby's delivered, the umbilical cord is clamped. There's blood inside of that umbilical cord still. And when they have sent some of those umbilical cords for testing, they have found in an insane number of chemicals, like over 200 chemicals in the cord blood. So what does that mean? That means that when babies are developing inside of moms, their bodies are already trying to deal with toxic exposures. The placenta helps a lot with that, but not all of it. And because it's already, if it's in the umbilical cord, it's already been to the baby. It's passed through from mom into the placenta, through the placenta to the baby. And so babies are born having bodies that are stressed because of toxins. So that's a scary thought, but it's an important thing to know, because this is why this is so important to look at this from the very beginning of life, so that we can start to make some shifts. Okay. All right. Next, the first question, first giveaway. I'm super excited about this. Okay. So I want either in the chat or take yourself off mute. Take yourself off mute is actually the best way. Let me know one thing that you're ready to swap today.
Hi, Molly.
Hey, Lori, how are you?
Already so interesting. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
So what am I ready to swap? I am ready to swap. There's so many things. Right. So I'd like to try to swap a dishwashing detergent, like like dish soap.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's a great one to swap. And the ebook has an amazing recipe in it for that. How about you, Julie?
I think I'm actually going to try this today, because I just saw the recipe on one of the Doterra pages, Windex.
Oh,
the glass cleaner. Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I've used that for years and it works so well. I love it. That's a great one to swap. All right, Lori, I am sending you a Citrus Bliss lotion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I always forget to tell people what the giveaway is for before I do the giveaway. It's like amateur hour over here. That's me. It's fine. We're just doing it. Okay. So now we're going to shift into some dish and switches. So the first thing that I want to talk about is air fresheners. I need to move my little bar away. Okay, so I can see. Okay, so air fresheners are, insanely toxic. Anything that has artificial fragrance, I want you to run from, honestly. So when you hear the word, the ingredient fragrance on any cleaning product, including a lot of things that claim to be green and non-toxic cleaning products like Mrs. Meyer's, can't remember all of them, like 7th generation, those all have fragrance in them. Fragrance is a black box of chemicals, and they don't have to disclose what that fragrance is made out of. And I can guarantee you it's not made out of doTERRA essential oils, or it would say it on the bottle. So this is such a, hormones or fragrance is, so there's so many hormone disruptors potentially in them because we don't know what it is. And so I think if you have been diffusing for any amount of time, you know that there's a difference. You smell the difference between using something like a plug-in versus a diffuser. Like it smells so different. So I am, of course, diffusing because that's what I do. So this morning I'm diffusing Elevation and Rosemary, and wow, it smells so good. So give that a shot, but I love it. The other thing that we tend to see a lot of people using is candles, because they're so pretty and they create ambiance and blah, blah, blah. And there are a lot of candles that are pretty safe. The ones that I want you to stay away from now are paraffin candles. So any paraffin candle is a petroleum-based product, and we don't want to be burning petroleum in our homes. That's not great. Petroleum is really bad for you. Petroleum jelly is, not a great thing. We don't need to have oil-based, petroleum, it's what they mine in the oceans. So great thing to get away from that. The thing that I love about diffusing is that you really get to choose what the environment that you create in your home. There's just an infinite number of options for what to diffuse. And so if you're looking to diffuse something to increase the energy, get people, like wake everybody up in the morning, doing something like peppermint and a citrus like wild orange is a great way to do that. If you've got an illness going through your house, diffusing something like Arngar is a great way to clean the air and hopefully reduce the spread of that illness from one person to the next in your family. If you are wanting to create a really relaxing, calming nighttime environment, diffusing something like lavender or serenity or Roman chamomile can really do that. And so there's so many different things that you can do with diffusing essential oils. To go back to candles and air freshener just for a second, the smell that you buy, that's what you're stuck with for however long that lasts. And so that's, one thing that you want to be consider. Like, I don't want to be stuck with one, I don't want to smell pumpkin spice latte until that candle goes away. So I love the variety that I get. Lori said she's diffusing peppermint and lime right now. Oh, that's a great combo. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Okay, the next ditch and switch that we'll talk about is skincare products. And so this is the stuff that we put on our faces, on our bodies, the shampoo that we wash our hair with, the soaps that we use on our hands. There are so many toxins that are found in so many of these personal care products, things like parabens. Parabens are known to be endocrine disruptors. So there's, going back to all of those hormone disruptions. That's what parabens do. Hydroquinone is exposure to that has been linked to reproductive harms and cancers. Fragrance, we've already talked about fragrance, that black box of who knows what that we don't really want in our bodies and on our skin. And then the last one, I'm going to group these last four together: limonene, geranol, citral, and eugenol. If you've been around essential oils and you're kind of a science geek like me, then you've heard these terms before. Limonene, particularly, we tend to talk about that one a lot because limonene is that happy, it's a chemical constituent of citrus oil that allows us to have that boost. So when I talk about these four things, these are not the chemical constituents that we find in essential oils. The limonene, geranol, citral, and eugenol, these that are dangerous, are all lab constructed. And this is why you chose Doterra, hopefully, because none of the oils that Doterra has are lab constructed. They're all the plants of nature. They're all like pulled from nature and for us to use in that way. And so when we're using essential oils, you don't have to worry about these chemical constituents because they're not fake. They are the real genuine things. But when you're dealing with whether it's low quality essential oils or something that just claims to have, essential oil like stuff in it, there can be some allergic reactions associated with that. So we'll kind of talk about that. The other thing, as we've talked about before, aluminum and antiperspirants, it has been linked to breast cancer. Think about, there's so many lymph nodes along the sides of our breasts and up into our armpits where we put our deodorant. And if we're slathering things on that part of our body that is being directly absorbed into our lymph node, directly adjacent to our breast tissue, that's not a good thing. And that has absolutely been linked to breast cancer. There's not a question about that anymore. So Doterra has some really incredible clean beauty products. I just am obsessed with them. So the deodorants, for example, are so good. They are so effective. Doterra Balance is I totally agree, Lori. Lori just said that Doterra Balance deodorant is her choice. Absolutely. It's so effective. if you, as someone who has tried several different natural deodorants, they're not all the same, right? If you've tried more than 2 or 3 of them, you know that, like it can be a struggle to find one that works. This one works. I am obsessed with it. I've tried all of them, but I kind of go back and forth between the Balance and the sensitive skin one, which is that Douglas fir and wild orange one, or Greek orange, that one. I go back and forth between the two because my skin is a little bit more sensitive. And so sometimes I just need to swap them back and forth, and that works out perfectly. If in the process of switching to something to make the switch a little bit easier, is you can use the Doterra mud mask to do like an armpit detox. And it sounds weird, but it totally works. So same way you would do a detox mask on your face, you can do the detox mask on your pits. I often do them one at a time, just so I'm not sitting here like this with both arms up for, a long, like for 5 to 6 minutes, but you can absolutely do that if you want. But it's super effective. It will really help to pull out a lot of those toxins that are stored in your lymph nodes and just under the skin. Pull that out, and I promise you it'll make that transition to a natural deodorant 90% easier. And then one thing to note on the mud mask, it will turn your skin red, and that's normal. It's supposed to do that. You're not having a reaction. That's the toxins being pulled out of your skin. And so that's really what you want to happen, is to have that red appearance. It goes away within minutes to, less than 30 minutes. It's for me, it's like totally better. No big deal. The other thing that I just want to touch base on is the Verage skincare line, because this is the cleanest line that Doterra has. It's really, really effective. I use all of it. It's great. And then I add in Immortelle as well. Again, just less toxins, less products and exposures that I put directly on my face. Okay, next one is household cleaners. So this one, Julie, I want to make sure that you are hearing all of this, because this directly addresses what you were talking about. So household cleaners are so dangerous, and I think we hear this a lot. Things like bleach and ammonia, those are really not great. Like, they're just dangerous chemicals to have around, and they definitely don't mix, right? They actually combust when they're combined, so you would never mix them together. But it is that burning feeling that we get when we're around bleach-based products. It is actually burning your cilia. It's actually causing damage to your respiratory tract. It's not cleaning in the way that it's killing everything, but at a huge price that is not worth paying when you can effectively clean your home without these harsh chemicals that are causing respiratory problems. I will say, so if you've been involved with me with Doterra for some amount of time, you know that I don't really hit hard on like, you've got to do this right now. Like, that's not really my approach, with the exception of this. If you have someone in your home that has respiratory issues, you have got to throw this stuff away today. It is hurting them. And if that's you, it's hurting you. It is not okay to have these products, because it's triggering, especially in small children, it's triggering their asthma. It's triggering, it's a triggering chemical. It's well described within the medical literature. You've got to get this stuff out of your home today. It is not worth it for the long-term consequences. So that's my one heavy-handed, like, you got to do this, and I'll just leave it there. So in place of all of this, I use the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate, and I make like everything out of it. It's fantastic. I have it here. There are so many different ways to use it in so many different formulations. The Low-Tox Home ebook that I'm going to be sending you guys, there are several cleaner concentrate recipes and variations and iterations in it. And so it's awesome. If you just use this bottle to make, and this is 12 ounces, to make all-purpose spray, and that's all you made with it, which would be fine. You would be able to make, I think it's like 26 different spray bottles and it breaks down to like $2.66 a bottle. Like, it's insanely cheap to clean in a way that's clean and healthy and safe. Hey, Victoria, I'm glad that you're on here. Hop on to the Zoom so that you can be entered in giveaways. It's just really, really awesome, and I love it. So, okay, giveaway number 2. All right, so for this one, I'm actually giving away a bottle of cleaner concentrate. So take yourself off mute and let me know. You get 2 possible, you can answer one or both of these, it's up to you. What are you most excited to try? Or 2, what is your best DIY recipe?
Don't want to leave you hanging.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. I'm with you. I really love the cleaner concentrate. And I just think it's awesome. Just put that in a spray bottle with water and even a little bit of vinegar. And I like to put lemon essential oil with it as well.
Yeah, that's a great one. I love that one too. Yeah, I will add different essential oils to my cleaner concentrate too, just to kind of shift the aroma every few times. Usually do that seasonally. I think right now I've got, I want to say peppermint and a little bit of extra On Guard in it. So that's been fun. Oh no, it's spearmint and On Guard. That's what I put in it. Really fun. It's like delicious. It's a joy. So Victoria, I'm so glad you hopped on. Welcome. Oh, you're muted, sweet friend.
I put lemon in my On Guard concentrate solution. So when I'm mopping the floors or whatever, I use it. I use it for everything that is concentrate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Sweet. All right. And then, so Victoria, I'm going to send you my bottle of cleaner concentrate.
Ah, all right.
Thanks for participating. Yep. Julie, how about you? What are you most excited to try, or what's your best DIY?
Yeah, I would say probably the actual concentrate itself, because I haven't tried that product yet from Doterra. So
yeah, it's awesome. It is. It goes so far too. Like, one bottle will last me like easily 6 months. And I'm a healthcare worker, so I'm crazy OCD. But yeah, it's incredible.
And it lasts a year if you don't clean as much.
Good point.
I'm being vulnerable and transparent.
Good for you.
Oh boy.
Right there with you, Victoria.
This is my cross to bear. All right. This topic, we just have to talk about this. So, xenoestrogens. Has anyone heard that term before? Raise your hand or like put it in the chat. Laura, you have. Ish. All right, you're going to learn more about them today and you're going to be horrified. I'm sorry, friend. Okay, so xenoestrogens are chemicals that imitate estrogen in our bodies. What they do, so the word xeno meaning other. I think last week I said it meant fake, but that was a false translation. It actually means other. So like xenophobia is a fear of others. Xenoestrogens are other estrogen. So these are estrogens that are not natural estrogens. These are not the estrogens that our bodies create, but they are in our cells, they're in our bodies, and they actually connect with our estrogen receptors and block them so that our natural estrogens cannot do the work that our estrogens are supposed to be doing in terms of hormone regulation and helping us to be healthy and maintain homeostasis. So this is really, really scary because we've all been exposed to xenoestrogens. Men actually have xenoestrogens on blocking their receptors as well. They don't have estrogen, but they do have, but the way that the xenoestrogens lock into the various receptors, it's actually harmful for men as well. So it increases the fake estrogens, so the other estrogens in their bloodstreams as well. So super not good. Anytime that our bodies are out of homeostasis and we're not able to do the things that we need to do, we are adding stressors to our body. And again, going back to that disease, that exposure over time leads to disease. Xenoestrogen is a huge exposure. So I think it's really important to also just point out that that the FDA was asked about their role in protecting the health of women specifically. And there was a group that asked the FDA to, a large group that asked the FDA to put some tighter restrictions on common chemicals that women specifically are being exposed to that are linked to reproductive cancers, endocrine disruptions, and like things like, breast health and stuff. And the FDA refused to. So the Environmental Working Group, which is the EWG, Environmental Working Group, they actually put on their website a press release from the FDA, which basically just said, like, we're sorry, ladies. To us, the evidence isn't super sound, although it's really strong. It should be sound. Like the evidence is there, but they just aren't going to move. And so this is really then falls on us to be our own health advocates and be understanding what's happening within our bodies. So Doterra's phytoestrogen lifetime complex is such a cool product because what it actually does is it goes through your bloodstream and scavenges those xenoestrogens and kicks them off the receptor sites so that our own natural estrogens can do the work that we need to do and we can come back into homeostasis. So we don't talk about the phytoestrogen complex very much within the Well Life Oils community, although we totally should, because this is something that everyone should be taking, men and women, again, because the men are exposed to these xenoestrogens as well. So even though it says doTERRA women, it's safe for men to take as well. So this is definitely something that we need to be looking more into and kind of taking a little bit deeper dive in that. Lori, how does that increase your knowledge on this? Oh, sorry, Victoria, you raised your hand.
That's okay. I just was curious about the postmenopausal women like me, the wise women.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, everyone's wise, but elder or whatever. Because I'm actually taking estrogen supplement. So maybe I would need less estrogen if I take this.
If you kick out the xenoestrogens, yeah. It's definitely potential. Yeah, I think it's certainly something that I would be sure to talk with your OB or your gynecologist about. But absolutely, I think that like doing that in a monitored way is a very reasonable thing to do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Lori, did you have something to add?
No, I was just answering your question.
Oh,
No, that was great. I thank you so much for that clarification.
yeah. So it's terrifying, right? Like it's gross. Hey, Lauren. Lauren, I see you on the Facebook. Hi, welcome. Hop over to the Zoom room. We've got giveaways going on over here. Okay. All right. Okay. So I wanted to give you a quick look at some of the things that I do every day to decrease my toxic exposure. So number one, I move my body. This morning I did like 25 minutes of yoga, some restorative stuff because that's what my body needed today. So I listened and I did the restorative yoga. The second thing that I try to do, and this is really, I missed the mark on this a lot. So truth be told, I am absolutely still a work in progress. I try to eat healthy, whole foods. If I could do this better, I would be healthier, I'm certain. And then of course I do all of my oily things. And so for example, adding a citrus oil to a glass of water. So either a glass or a stainless steel cup. You can pretty much guarantee that anything I'm drinking, anytime I'm drinking water, it has an essential oil in it. Right now, my personal favorite is clementine. I've been doing that a lot. It's super, super yummy. Number two is taking my Lifelong Vitality. This just, right, Victoria? It's so good. It's such an incredible product. It makes all of the difference, and it just creates this beautiful foundation that up levels my health. Number three is diffusing. Like I said, I'm diffusing right now. I've got rosemary and elevation going. And then number four, I can't count anymore on my fingers. Number four is all of the On Guard products. So the toothpaste, the hand sanitizer, the foaming hand wash, I'm doing laundry right now. Like there's the detergent. And so all of these things, because I know Doterra and I know their commitment to clean products and safe products, I can use these with confidence that this is not adding to my toxic load, and it's in fact decreasing my toxic load as I go through my day. All right, giveaway number three. All right, so again, you have one of two possible, you can answer one or both of them, it's up to you. The giveaway for what you win for this one is three of my favorite oils that I use in cleaning stuff is grapefruit, peppermint, and lime. So awesome, awesome. I love adding these to a ton of different recipes. And of course, you can use them however you want to use them. So first question is, what was the most surprising thing that you learned today? And the second question is, what are you going to start doing today? Victoria, I see your hand.
I was surprised that, I'm not really into this like yours. So I was surprised that you can actually put the oil in water, like lemon. So my doctor, because I had some recent toxic exposure to some chemicals and had a severe reaction. And she said, put lemon in your water. But I could put the lemon essential oil in the water?
You absolutely can. Yeah.
And that, because it's a food grade?
It is, yeah. So when you look at the side of your essential oil bottle, of your lemon bottle, you'll see like right underneath the colored label, you'll see a supplement facts box. You see that?
Well, I'm looking at Breathe, but it has a little CP.
It's not on Breathe. It's not on Breathe. So that's actually how you know whether or not an essential oil is safe to take internally.
Okay. And it just says internal?
There's a box that says supplement facts. And this tells you that this is safe to take this internally.
Perfect.
Unknown caller.
Perfect.
I've got Balance here. And just like Breathe, on the side of this bottle, there's no supplement facts spot.
Right. Okay.
So this is not one that I'll take internally. But
is it mostly like the citrus ones are
good? It's a whole lot of them. It's actually more oils are safe to take internally than aren't. So just be looking for that supplement facts box, and then you are good to go. And honestly, for this is a 16-ounce cup. I would put well, I would try to put 1 and I would get 2 drops.
Okay.
But it takes very, very little.
Wow.
And if you're using something like oregano, which is a hot oil, I would actually put that into a veggie capsule rather than into.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Yeah.
It's really powerful. It's really hot. You can actually use, like when you're making like a pasta sauce or something, you could, if you run out of oregano or you just want to try it and when you're making a red sauce, just put 1 drop of oregano for an entire pot of sauce. Wow. That's all you need. It's really, really powerful. And 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the equivalent of drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. So
wow,
really powerful stuff.
Good to know.
All right, Lori or Julie, what was the most surprising thing about today? Or what are you going to start doing today?
Okay, so I am so excited to get your book, to start doing some DIYs around my house because I have all the things Doterra. Yeah. Now I just need to like use them in that way. So thank you.
You're welcome. I will put your email in the chat and so that I can email it to you. I think I have it, but just in case I don't. Yeah. Julie, how about you?
Yeah, I think, well, I'm definitely going to do the glass cleaner. That's what I had mentioned before, but I think while I'm mixing stuff up, I'll also try the all-purpose cleaner as well.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds great. Yeah, it's super fun. Oh yeah, notes to Laura. Yeah, I've got you. Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sweet. And then Julie, can you do me a favor and put your email address in the chat as well and your mailing address, because I'm going to send you these 3 essential oils for the giveaway. Yeah.
Great. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So thank you. Thank you, ladies. Okay. All right. So now just before we close, I just want to give you guys an idea of what you can do with the loyalty rewards program. So this is just an example of what, if you wanted to make a big shift on some things, this is a really cool loyalty rewards order that one could do, that you could do that would qualify you for the free product of the month if you ran this in July or June, since we're past the 15th of the month now. But it is, these things together would be over that 125 PV marks. And so you would get whatever the free oil is in June, which we'll find out on June 1st because Doterra is fun like that and doesn't tell us in advance. So really cool. So again, this is just kind of a smattering of, these are a lot of the things that we talked about today. You could also add in the skincare program, the Verage system if you wanted to, or that phytoestrogen complex that we talked about. These would both be really great options. Okay, the next one, if you haven't gotten started with Doterra yet, this is a really fun collection to start with. And then I added in I customized it a little bit to add in the cleaner concentrate because it's just such a powerful product that everyone needs in their home, quite frankly. So this starter kit has 10 really fun blends, as well as single essential oils like wild orange and peppermint that are really fun for diffusing. There's a lot of different ways that you can use these 10 oils because they're just so powerful, but you can also just use them to diffuse. So really cool thing, get a free account, and it's really a great thing to do for your health. Okay, well, that is all I have for today. Are there any burning questions that I haven't answered, or that you just want to ask, or things that you want me to tell you more info on?
I have a quick question. If I put lemon in, excuse me, if I put lemon in my water, will it actually taste like lemon?
It sure will. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm going to try that today.
Good. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, great. Or lime, or I'm sure I have some citrus.
Yeah, the citrus are really great. Okay,
good.
really, it's fun.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad I was on. And,
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Thanks for hopping over from.
Thank you for the gift. That was awfully generous.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to pop it in the mail probably today, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Sweet.
I'm moving, so I thought about a house. I found a house, so I'll have I'll have some products that was almost out, so it's good.
Oh, perfect. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm excited that you found a house. That's
Thank
cool.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anybody, Julie or Lori, any other questions that you want me, that I need to, that I can answer?
I have a, I think it's a silly question, but I just want to ask anyway. Is tangerine, that's considered a citrus oil?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It sure
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah. Do you have tangerine?
I do.
Yeah.
And I clean with it sometimes, just because I like the smell, but I wasn't sure really what other properties it had.
Yeah. So the citrus oils are really very cool, very multi-purpose oils because one, they smell amazing. And so, you know, they've got really, they are really uplifting. Like they're great for mood and, like, you know, shifting emotional states from low to high really quickly because that's just what they do. The limonene, in addition to giving us that emotional boost and that emotional uplift, also is a really effective cleanser. So they, on their own, citrus oils are antimicrobial, so antibacterial. They're actually antifungal as well, and so like they're also antiviral. So they're really, so it's actually a perfect thing to use in a DIY cleaner because, one, I don't know about you, like cleaning is not my jam. Like I can do it, I'm good at it. I'm OCD, but I also like, it doesn't like give me joy to clean. And so like smelling something really lovely while I'm doing it is a reward in and of itself. Plus, because it's a citrus, I know that I'm like doing that antibacterial work that I really want to be doing when I'm cleaning, and, you know, not just like moving germs around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. So really it's any, the citrus oils can be used for cleaning then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Citrus up. All your citrus.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thank
you.
Thank you. All right. Laura, did you have anything else? Oh, I just saw your comments. Starting with Doterra was the best decision I made for my health, and I enjoy ordering on LRP where I always get free shipping and free stuff, right? Free shipping and free stuff. Ugh. Yeah. Who doesn't love free shipping and free stuff? I love wild orange. I add it to everything. Diffuse, water, diffuse with balance. So nice. Yeah, I know. Wild orange is like the happiest of the citruses. It's just incredible. All right. Well, I have kept you guys well beyond what I said that I would. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will talk with you all later.
Alrighty.
Molly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you.